When many of us were busy talking about the 5 billionaires that embarked on a journey on Titan submarine to go and see the Titanic shipwreck at the bottom of the sea, we didn't know that something very important was happening and nobody was in any way trying to talk about it. Lives that are up to 750 were lost at that same point in time when these 5 billionaires left the earth all in the name of excursion, and their life was wasted on that process. I don't want to talk so much, just watch this video and see exactly what happened this period when these persons died, all in the name of nobody was willing to talk about it. Nobody was in any way bringing up that topic. All we focused on was talking about the 5 billionaires that went on an excursion on their own decision, and these persons were the ones who died for them on their way to go and get or find greener pasture. And nobody talked about it. Just watch the video and see for yourself what these persons passed through all in the name of greener pasture. And nobody talked about it.
These inhumane conditions. One of them was Sajid, who even got to film this TikTok when he arrived in Libya. He boarded the Adriana boat and went missing since his fourth and likely last attempt to get to Europe. See, the Adriana boat sailed for 2 days from Libya, moving towards Greece, hoping to get to Italy. People on board were only given food every 48 hours.
If anyone talks too loud, they're getting smacked with a stick.
And despite the boat engine breaking down a few times, these migrants held on to hope that things would get better. But then, on the third day of the voyage, food and water finished and panic began to spread. They were falling on the ground, they were fainting, some were shaking. Why did no one help them? The chaos continued until June 13th, 10:43 a.m. The boat seemed to have stopped moving completely. An activist gets a distressed signal from the ship and alerts authorities about it. So later that afternoon at around 4 to 5 p.m., a civilian tanker called the Lucky Sailor spots the migrant boat Adriana. But as it approached, people on board seemed to be gesturing, "Go away." But later on, the boat, thankfully, finally accepted food and water from the tanker. Except it wasn't too long until darkness arrived. Around early evening, 7 p.m., as more distressed calls came about a boat rolling from side to side. The refugees started to see dead bodies. 8:59 p.m. The Greek Coast Guard enlists another tanker, Faithful Warrior, to come close to the migrant ship as soon as possible. When it arrived, the survivors said that the Faithful Warrior tied the Adriana ship in 2 points. They then threw bottles of water, causing people to panic. And this panic swayed the boat dangerously. Now, there are 2 conflicting statements about what happened later that evening. Some claimed that the migrants rejected help and untied the rope because they didn't want to get rescued but rather escape their country even if it meant dying, while others said the rope was untied exactly because it was rocking the boat even more.
The boat tilted to the right and everyone was screaming.
Whatever it was, the worst happens shortly after midnight, because at 1:45 a.m., June 14th, a haunting call sent from the migrant boat reveals the final words of one of the victims. "Hello, my friend, the ship you send is..." before the call gets cut. The nightmare had just happened. The ship, carrying 750 people, had sunk. Hundreds of people grabbed onto whatever they could find, pushing each other underwater, screaming for survival. And remember the little kids and women kept under the deck? Unfortunately, it's very likely they were the first to drown. 3:02 a.m. This super yacht comes to the rescue, and out of the 750 people who started this dangerous journey, only 104 refugees made it alive. About 80 souls were confirmed dead from drowning, and around 500 more people, men, women, children remain missing and are feared to be dead. Just imagine, more than 500 people with hopes and dreams, with families who deeply cared for them, vanished. Just like that, with no one really caring. And with a tragedy this massive, considering how much we all focus on the Titan story that was happening at the same time, I believe the least we can do is not ignore these videos, so we can share their pain and remember them. I know the media doesn't talk about them. I know they are poor and we have become used to poor people dying. Refugees, homeless, poor, take 1 million of them and still the world will care more about 1 billionaire. That is the harsh reality, but we can't accept it. Just like we can't accept no one remembering the 500 of the victims. They didn't die because of a boat. They died because of a system that let them down. Do not look away from them, hugging their brothers so tight after realizing this is now their second chance. Do not look away from them, desperately hoping the survivors would tell them they saw their missing loved ones.
Last night I don't have any option. I don't know he's alive or not.
Do not look away from these poor families, still patiently waiting at home, deeply worried if their children made it, but praying away for a miracle. Please share this video to spread the message that the hundreds of souls who died on this ship deserve as much justice, sympathy and grief as the 5 souls lost in the Titan.